Hello, Disney fans and history lovers. This video applies to both my channels, or two of my three channels. It's not often that I get to do that, and I decided to release this video on both. I do have another video coming soon for my history channel, but it's going to be a little bit longer before I get that one up. There's a lot going on in our country right now, and as we celebrate 250 years, it's a good time to look back on the past, on the freedoms that we fought for, and those who did the fighting for those freedoms. Back when the Declaration of Independence was signed, back when we made the Constitution, Ben Franklin was asked what kind of country we would be, and he said, a republic if we can keep it. 250 years on, there's so much unrest in this country, but it can help to look back and know that there's always going to be good people who do what is right, who believe in freedom. Ben Franklin was a really great man, and in 1953, Disney made a short about him called Ben and Me. The me refers to a little mouse named Amos. Amos is voiced by Sterling Holloway, and Disney fans will know him as the voice of Winnie the Pooh, as the voice of Kaa in Jungle Book, the voice of Rookford in the Aristocats, which is a pretty underestimated Disney movie. It's a pretty good one if you haven't seen that one, if you're watching this on my Disney Channel. He did a lot of voice work. Cheshire Cat and Alice in Wonderland was another one of his roles. So, good choice for this little mouse. Very talented actor. Now, the story begins before Amos meets Ben Franklin, and he talks a little bit about his family history. Now, if you're watching this on my Disney Channel, you'll be fascinated to see how some of the cats show other animated cats. Take a look at this one and tell me that cat isn't Lucifer from Cinderella. It's kind of fun for me to watch this as a history lover because I can also see different historical events depicted in this. Like, for example, one of Amos's ancestors supposedly was a painter studying under Hans Holbein. Now, if you know history, you know Holbein was a famous painter during the Tudor era, so a little bonus in this cartoon.
Oh, Aloysius. Aloysius was a mouse painter. Well, one of the truly talented members of our family who studied under the great Hans Holbein, under the floor of the famous old master's studio.
Now, I mentioned before about you can see other Disney works referenced in this. Take a look at this cat in the segment where Amos's ancestors land at Plymouth Rock, and tell me that isn't Figaro.
After a voyage of 9 weeks, they landed at a place called Plymouth Rock, and a new life in a new land was begun. At last, they were free. Free? Oh, well.
So now we've looked at Amos's family, time to get on with the main part of the story of his friendship with Benjamin Franklin. Amos's family are church mice, and you're probably familiar with the expression as poor as church mice. Mice have big families, so that's a lot of mouths to feed. He decides he's going to go out into the world and see if he can accomplish something on his own and maybe help his family that way. He ends up finding Ben Franklin, who tells him just call me Ben, and he's really struggling. To start with, the place is freezing, and it's Amos who has the idea for one of Ben Franklin's most famous inventions, the Franklin stove.
Mr. Franklin.
My name's Ben. Plain Ben. Just what would you do, whatever your name is?
My name's Amos, one of the church mice from over on 2nd Street. And the first thing I'd do is figure a way to heat this place. All your heat's going up the chimney.
And what would you propose?
Put the fire in the middle of the room.
Oh, nonsense. You want to burn the place down?
Make something out of iron and put it in. Say
Another one of Ben Franklin's greatest inventions is bifocal glasses. Apparently, Amos gets credit for that one, too.
Fixing Ben's glasses was quite a problem. He'd broken his outdoor pair as well as his reading glasses. Well, there was only one thing left. Try to make one pair out of the two.
I should also say that Ben Franklin is voiced by Charlie Ruggles. Now, you might not recognize that name, but he was in over 100 films, classic era movie actor, and if you haven't heard his name, I guarantee you've seen his face in at least one picture. Now, besides being an inventor, Ben Franklin was also known for his writing. Very talented writer, wrote some anonymous letters under the name of Silence Dogood, did a lot of writing during the Revolution, of course, to help accomplish things, and of course he's well known for Poor Richard's Almanac and the Pennsylvania Gazette. And Amos apparently helped him with that as well, by being an undercover reporter of sorts. One thing I find interesting that they show in this cartoon is Ben Franklin was instrumental in improving the fire department, which absolutely sucked at that time. And apparently, Amos had a hand in that by helping to report on just how bad a fire was.
And due to our inadequate fire department, the building was a total loss.
One of the things Ben Franklin is also famous for is experimenting with electricity. And there's a famous story that he flew the kite in the lightning storm, and the lightning sent a bolt down the kite string to the key and electrified it. This story is one of those historical myths people still believe. Think about it a moment. If this were true, yeah, Ben Franklin would have been a charcoal briquette. But it is still a story that everybody seems to know. And they included a version of that in this cartoon. Amos, unfortunately, was sent up on the kite, and Ben didn't tell him it was an experiment with electricity. He just said, "You're going to be an in-the-air reporter." When the lightning strikes, Amos is not happy about being used as a guinea pig.
Speak to me. Was it electricity?
Was it electricity? Was it electricity? Goodbye! Goodbye and forever!
Please, Amos, wait!
Now, it's shortly after this that the revolution breaks out. And Ben is going to really need Amos's help. Ben goes to England to try to smooth things over, work things out, and he comes back with the word that's not going to happen. So, with everything in turmoil, a whole new country is coming to be their own independent nation, where before they were colonies. A lot is going on, and he needs Amos's advice. Amos, understandably, is not willing to come back to him after he got almost electrocuted. So, Amos finally says, "Okay, I'll come back, but I'm drafting up a contract, and you'd better read it and sign it first." And Ben thankfully agrees to this. He's very grateful that he's getting any help at all. Well, the next day, Thomas Jefferson comes to see Ben, and he's having a hard time with the opening of the Declaration of Independence. Now, without even meaning to, Amos inspires the writing of the Declaration of Independence, at least the opening of it. Now, this is actually historically accurate. Everybody always thinks of Jefferson as having written that, but it was actually edited by Ben Franklin.
Find the word. Yes. How about our contract?
No, Amos, not now.
Yes, now, or I'm leaving.
All right, Amos. When, in the course of human events, it becomes necessary.
Sam, that's it. That's it. When, in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political band which have connected them with another, and to assume, among the powers of the earth, the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature.
A couple notes about Thomas Jefferson in here. Ben refers to him as Red, and Thomas Jefferson actually was a redhead in real life. Interesting they got that detail in there because usually I think when anybody pictures the founding fathers, they picture the powdered wigs and don't think about what their actual hair color really was. So, nice attention to detail in that. Jefferson is voiced by Hans Conried, who will be best known to Disney fans as the voice of Captain Hook. The cartoon ends with a tour guide showing modern tourists the statue of Ben Franklin, and on Ben's hat is a little statue of Amos. And the human tour guide, tells the human audience how important Ben Franklin was, while a mouse tour guide tells the mouse tourist how important Amos was. I thought that was a cute way to end it. This is based on the book by Robert Lawson. If you want to read that, of course, it's far expanded compared to the cartoon, goes into a lot more of Ben Franklin's life. And if you want to learn more about Ben Franklin, I really recommend reading his autobiography. Really great book. It's a quick read. I think that any history lover will enjoy it. I've also wondered as I was making this what Ben Franklin would think of this cartoon if he could see it, because it shows him as not really able to accomplish anything without Amos. But if you've read Franklin's works and know his sense of humor, I think he would actually have enjoyed this. I hope everybody has the best possible day, and to my Disney fans, I'll say remember the magic, and to everyone, take care, and have the best 4th of July possible.